Hello, blessings, blessed be. Hello, guys. It is High Priestess Jamila, and I have a discussion for you guys today. Really quick before I get started, welcome to the channel. If you are new here, please subscribe. And I would also appreciate a thumbs up, even though my ratings are disabled. Okay. I would like a thumbs up if you guys don't mind. I am here today to speak about the law of attraction. And I want to talk about this two different things that I notice about it. First of all, I feel that if you have anything negative happening in your life, uh, those things could possibly affect you. As far as like when you have certain goals and ambitions and, things that you're trying to do. However, the law of attraction, the reason why I don't agree with it and why I feel that witchcraft is where to go with that, because I feel that law of attraction is one of those things that wants to be witchcraft, but it's actually not. But in reality, the law of attraction, just like the law of karma, can possibly hurt you if you let it. So I want to break this down for you guys. And in witchcraft, we deal with both spirits and energy and intent. So when it comes to the law of attraction, the law of attraction kind of teaches you that if anything, whether or not it's good or it's bad, that you attracted it into your life. That, of course, we want to attract good things into our lives. I mean, honestly, bad things like maybe spilling milk on a carpet or some other calamity can always lead to good things. But so those are things you can't really help. Those are circumstances that possibly could be leading you to something better. We've all experienced that. Oh my God, when you finally, get the things that you want in life, it's like, oh my God, that led to this and this would, and it just kind of falls together sometimes. But I also believe that there are certain things that you need to set an intent to do, or it won't happen. Doesn't matter how much you meditate, doesn't matter how much you, even speak affirmations. Okay. Now, I don't believe in having negative thoughts, but I do also believe that some negative thoughts you can't help, and some of them are actually helpful. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that 50% of the day, because you know how they talk about balance, that doesn't mean that 50% of the day you have to be thinking positive and then 50% of the day you have to be thinking negative. I think even if you were to break that up, like if maybe in the morning you felt negative or an hour later you felt positive and then an hour later, no, we've got to stop looking at balance like that. That's not balance. Having half of your day being negative. In fact, that seems like that would be bad for your health. Just saying, especially when you reach a certain age. When we were kids, we were very resilient. the older you get, it's kind of like, yeah, you have to, witchcraft is really about learning how to create your environment using the elements, maybe possibly using spirits, using physics. There's even certain things in witchcraft that we use law of attraction for. For example, certain herbs can attract good luck to you. So, you know what I'm saying? So, but to rely on law of attraction alone, I do not recommend ever. So, for example, the law of attraction is very similar to the law of karma, which says that if someone that has bad energy, bad spirits, somehow comes into your life on some perspective, even if it's just in social media, this says that you automatically attracted it to you somehow. Or you need to do some shadow work. Now, when you need to do shadow work is when those negative things are affecting you. Yes. Right, right. And that is a very, very true statement. I'm going to get to your statement in a minute. Um, if you so let's get back to the thing as far as what I was talking about with um, if you attract a negative person or if you attract a negative spirit, sometimes negative energies just sometimes can invade. And if you solely rely on the law of attraction, what you're going to find yourself, you're going to be stuck at not really knowing how to deal with the invaders. And I think this has been a mistake because I can tell you that if a negative spirit or several come into your house and you're sitting there thinking, oh, it's almost like thinking that you're going to think positive and make those things go away. And that's not the truth. Or when somebody extremely negative is around you and they have really low vibratory energy, they've got bad spirits. Law of attraction to me is almost like uh, you have to take on somebody else's bad negative karma. And I don't agree with that. And I don't like that. And I think that it's very biased as well, depending on what ethnic background you come from, possibly. Um, it could also depend on your entire life. Maybe who you know or somebody that you know. Maybe it's somebody that you may have met 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and you knew that person. And you may not even be around that person anymore. But to say that, with the whole law of attraction, law of karma, it's almost like saying, okay, people have the right to judge you based upon your journey and not, what's the word that I'm looking for? Basically that, because we're constantly on a journey, right? So, and we all know sort of where we want to end up, or at least we think we know. Some of us are 1000% sure, some of us aren't. I think it's good to be sure about those things. Okay. So I don't like that because what it says is that if you made a mistake 10 years ago, that you must pay for that mistake whenever that mistake wants to pop up. especially when it comes to people. People that you may know that may attract negativity to you. People that you know can attract negative people to you. People that you used to know. So this is why I don't like it. In fact, I did spiritual work on that. No, I'm only going to get the things that I want because I will it. It's almost like instead of telling the universe what to do, you're asking the universe. You don't have to ask the universe for anything. It's very abundant. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with, oh, if a negative person invades on you and, you kind of sort of, it's a soul contract. Sometimes it is, but a lot of times it's not. A lot of times you have no connection um, whatsoever. There's a lot that we know about in the spiritual community when it comes to witchcraft and astral travel and spells and, you know, and it's so much more complicated than that. And I think a lot of people tried the law of attraction and they found themselves not getting anywhere. Now, again, when I do spell work for you, I tell you when I've done the ritual, when it's complete, and I tell you to not think about it. Try not to think about it. I mean, certain things you can't think about, you know, certain events where you're going to be doing certain things to lead up to it. But there's a difference between taking action and sitting back and waiting versus taking the action and then obsessing. Because obsession can be a blockage. When you do witchcraft, you have done it, it's done. Don't need to think about it. That's just like when you make a true statement or, when you do something right the first time, you don't have to do it over and over again. And so if it's something truly, now sometimes in witchcraft, there are certain things like, for example, like my protection. I light up my protection jars whenever my intuition tells me to. Protection is something that has to be done. I think a lot of people kind of don't realize that when it comes to protection. You have to protect yourself from the law of attraction because the law of attraction to me can either slow down or altogether stop your magic. Maybe it's the way that I do magic. I don't do magic with wishful thinking. I use a lot of visualization. And it's a complicated process that really can't be explained. Okay, it really can't be explained like just kind of like that, but you guys know that the basis of witchcraft is your imagination, is your thoughts, yes, your vision. And there's no amount of witchcraft that's going to work if you don't have the vision. So, law of attraction is a totally different thing. I think that it's good for some people. I think it's okay for some people. But I think that once those people have gotten to a certain place, or a certain headspace, law of attraction means nothing. Um, Law of attraction is not about being attractive either. Some people don't understand that. Even though I feel like everybody has the capability of being attractive in some kind of way, you know, unless you're thinking that you're not attractive, but it has nothing to do with how attractive you are, what you gain in life. I don't agree with that. Okay. So it has nothing to do with that. Law of attraction is all about, if you think about money, or if you have money, you get more money. That's not always true. Or if you talk about money, that's not always true, but it is some validity to that. But law of attraction basically says that if something negative, or you're dealing with negativity from a person or more than one person, that it is going to affect you. And I believe that a lot of y'all's enemies are using the law of attraction on you. I've heard so many of you guys say things like, I feel like somebody sent this person, to get at me in a negative way. And so that's kind of how a person can do that. Oh, let me bring all these negative, angry people, you know. And so witchcraft, if that ever happens to you, that actually cosigns the need for witchcraft. Because what witchcraft will do is it will say, okay, I can see that you're bringing some negativity to me. I'm going to use my knowledge of the craft to send it back, because I don't want it to affect me, my mind, my body, my spirit, my outcome. Okay. And that can be done in many different ways. I always tell people to not obsess, but I do like to send my clients their protection jars so that, if they feel that they need it, um, especially when it comes to those pesky psychic attacks. Don't you hate those? I hate psychic attacks. I have not had hardly any in months, though, because I did an astral protection jar, which basically protects your mind, because your mind is the gateway to the astral and to the etheric. And so, protecting your astral spaces will keep things from coming in that you don't want. Yes, we're back. Yay. Hello. So, a new me says, yeah, they make it seem like you got to be positive 24/7 to manifest the law of attraction will have you depressed. Yes. Now my preference is I love being in a good mood. I love feeling good. I just have always been that way. I love being in high spirits, but you know what? I do this for a living. I have to deal with negativity for a living. But it's not necessarily what you do, but how you do it. So for me, I look at negativity and I look at anything that is negative as not having any power over me. And sometimes, like for example, when I'm banishing a bad spirit, you can feel that spirit trying to pierce your soul. You can feel it. And it's something that throughout the years I have gotten really good at, because there were times when I felt like, okay, I'm getting ready to pass out. Yeah. And that's not even with dark work. That's with what we consider to be light magic or white magic. Money magic is not always white magic unless you put it in there. Like some of my spells, a lot of my spells, I do from a Wiccan perspective, to where when I do a spell, I usually try to guide whatever it is that, you know, whatever it is, I try to guide it. Like, for example, if I cast a spell to, get this job or get this client, okay, if somebody else wanted that client, I'm going to make sure that I am not harming anyone. And I'll do that a lot. I think it produces better results, personally. Um, but I deal with negative stuff all the time. Like, for example, if I do money work for you or a money unblocker, I've got to deal with whatever is blocking that. And typically, whatever is blocking it is in your mind. That's what's blocking it a lot of the times, especially if I've already removed it, because the mind needs time to heal. When you feel, what's the word that I'm looking for? Crossed, or when you feel hindered or encumbered, that is a soft form of trauma, because it's something that you either need or want that you can't have. And if you start to feel like you've been waiting forever, oh, that's even more traumatizing, to the point where when you finally get it, like for example, as simple as I need a glass of water and I'm thirsty for that water. Now, most of us have running water in our sinks. I personally don't drink sink water unless I have to. If I run out of water, I usually like to put some in the freezer. If I run out of bottled water, when you go and you finally get that water, it's a relief, which sparks a healing mechanism. Because by the time you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated, is what they say. So it's the same thing as if you were waiting on something that you've been waiting for your whole life, and then you finally get it, then you have to get adjusted to it. Okay. And so I found that the disbelief, see, with me, I'm 1000% magic, 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 right? I walk with magic every single day. So I'm used to doing the rituals and the spells and getting the result. But a lot of my clients, especially people that have never been to a spiritualist or people that have been to other spiritualists, that did not manifest. It never manifested with them. And when they come to me and they're like, I've only been working with you for 2 days. What's going on here? Something's happening here. And they have to kind of get adjusted to that. That's why it's so easy to stay in that broken place where you're hurting and wanting and desiring. You feel trapped. Here's another thing about the law of attraction. If you went by the law of attraction, to me, is like being behind a locked door, not a prison, but being behind a locked door and wanting to get out, but you can't get out because there's nothing there to help you get out. It takes willpower and strength to get out of that locked door. So having, you know, people around you, um, a lot of times when it comes to law of attraction, I feel that it's very fake a lot of the times because, especially when it comes to us witches or anybody that has anything different about them. Um, let's keep it real. If you're a witch, you probably never felt accepted, even before you realized that you were a witch. So the law of attraction says that other people have to accept you. And that's not true. There are some people that have no neighbors. There are some people that have nobody around them except for their family. It's a very codependent thing, in my humble opinion. It says that the people around you have to make you feel like crap, second guess yourself, or question why you want something in the first place. I don't like that. If I liked it, I liked it for a reason. And I'm a first responder. I am. The only time I go to my second response is when I'm told to by myself, by my own consciousness. So it kind of tells you that maybe you should question what you want in the first place. To me, is what I found. I've looked at some channels of people that are really into the law of attraction, and they seem to constantly be changing paths every 5 minutes. It's okay for you to change your path, but I feel like it leads to indecision, to where a person can't make up their mind. Now, most of you that are listening to this, you know exactly where you want yourself to be within an hour. Maybe you're driving home from work and maybe the traffic is irritating you. You just want to go home and relax on your couch and have a beer or a glass of wine. Okay? Some of you know exactly where you want to be 2 weeks from now, exactly 2 days or 2 weeks or 2 months. And, when it comes to that, there should be, that's where you should have the one track mind. This is what I want. This is what I'm seeing in the future for myself. And that's where I'm going. The law of attraction teaches you to do what other people expect you to do. Don't do that. Don't go over there because of this, and that. So it kind of still puts you in a mental imprisonment because, for example, what if you decided one day, up, I want to jump up and move to Texas or Georgia? Let's say you wanted to move to Georgia. And you move to Georgia or Texas. But let's say people from your hometown decided that they wasn't cool with that. And they decided to give you a hard time about it. What good is the law of attraction going to do? You got to know some defensive magic for that. You have to know some defensive magic for that. Because sometimes people can make things so hard when they should be easy. A lot of people. That's why I don't like the law of attraction. Because it says other people can come into your life and make things difficult for you anytime they want. You know, maybe perhaps they could send a very negative person to come up and cuss you out. Say, hey, go over there to that person and say something rude to them. Right? And that person does it. And you allow that person to screw up the whole rest of your day. If that happened to you, would you allow that to throw you off your path and screw up the rest of your day? Or would you be able to deal with the situation very quickly and then go back to your path, that mind space that you felt comfortable in? Most people that depend on the law of attraction cannot, because they would sit and obsess and think about it all day. Oh my God, why did that person say this to me? Why did that happen? Did so and so and so and so? Well, chances are if the person didn't bust down your door and, you know, assault you to death, you know, it was meant for you to get over it. Maybe take precautionary measures. It was meant for you to get over it and move forward. Okay. Law of attraction is not magic. I think it's good to study the law of attraction on your journey of learning how to train the brain for certain things. But otherwise, it's kind of lost its fire. I feel like the law of attraction has lost a lot of its traction. No pun intended. It has, because it's not about being judged based upon, you know, things that may have been attracted to you. You see what I'm saying? Like if a negative person is just attached to you, does that say that that negative person has power over you to the point that they're able to change the course of your life? I don't agree with that. Law of attraction is like the Five of Pentacles to me. It's not enough. It's not enough. And let's face it, a huge percent of our world global population is affected by spiritual. Everything. Okay. And the world is expanding. What a lot of people don't realize that Earth is actually bigger than what it was 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, when it comes to greed, when it comes to wealth, every single wealthy person is not worried about other people becoming wealthy and losing money. Every single wealthy person doesn't feel that way. There are some that do. I can imagine that if you're wealthy, it either came through generational wealth or some kind of willful action that you had to take. But what created the law of attraction was that people realized a decade ago that just wanting it and taking the action to get it wasn't even enough. That wasn't even enough. You know? So and again, magic is not just about lighting a candle. It's not. Um, you have to pretty much tell the candle what to do before you even light it. So it's not just about that. But at first it seems like a complicated process. But then after a while, you when you catch on, learning your craft is almost like riding a bike. So law of attraction is the training wheels, pretty much. And that's it. And, there's a lot of people, y'all like, I don't want to learn magic, which I understand that. By the way, I'm not offering classes until May or April. um, I may be willing to get some people started in March, but otherwise, no, April or May. Not March, no. Maybe the end of March, maybe mid-March, but no. Um, but a lot of you guys just want the work done for you, which is understandable. Okay, and I do that all the time, and I welcome that with open arms. But you still have to have an understanding of what you're dealing with. And if you don't believe in it, you know, it's very easy to run into somebody that's scamming you that it can't do nothing, can't make nothing happen. That happens a lot. And I've been hearing that a lot from clients. that have came to me in the past year. Um, so the understanding that you have to have is, to pretty much trust the process, and faith is everything. I feel more secure having faith in witchcraft than anything else because it has served me well. It has served my clients well. Okay. And your mind does mean a lot. I don't have clients that ask me all the time, is this going to work? They never ask me that. But I've noticed that clients, I've had one or two that with the ones that ask questions like that, it usually takes longer to manifest what they want. So, in a lot of ways, we do believe in that, but I think that it's mainly energy. I think that you can clear energy off yourself even if you have to over 100 times per day. It just is what it is. If you light that dragon's blood or that copal or that Palo Santo, it is going to purify. It is going to clear. If you don't believe that, then you still just gonna be sick. You still just, if you don't believe, like I can kind of sway smoke towards you, and if you don't believe in that, you're just gonna still be where you were at. If you don't believe that doing an egg cleanse will work, it won't. So, very, very different from the law of attraction. I hope y'all could hear me when I was talking. By the way, as a witch, I don't like the law of attraction. Now, the laws of karma can serve you because you can invoke the law of karma on somebody that won't leave you alone, or somebody that may be doing something wrong to you. Um, but do you believe that you're going to have negative karma just because that person did that? Because some people believe that. I mean, to be honest with you, I've had nothing but chaos, chaos, chaos. Not even really necessarily surrounding my channel, but it is having to do with my channel. And for me, what I felt a personal responsibility to myself was to take that and turn it into non chaos for self. So there's going to be chaos, chaos, chaos around you. But at the end of the day, what are you doing in your own personal space? Hey, Jen, there may be a chaotic neighbor. There may be a chaotic family member. What are you doing? Because everybody has choices. If a person is chaotic, they choose that, don't they? We all make choices every single day. So, but at the end of the day, even if I am a part of my own chaos, you have to learn to find that north. I've been saying that for years. That is where you are grounded. It is so difficult for a lot of people to stay grounded. That's where you get the anxiety. That's where you get the anxiousness from. Law of attraction, witches teach grounding. Spiritualists are the ones that teach grounding or can ground somebody. Okay, we're the ones that teach that because when it's chaotic, can you stay calm? Even in a situation that's could possibly be upsetting or a situation that was meant to upset you. Obviously, there's going to be moments, hopefully, not knock on wood for everybody, to where you may have to get upset. It may be something that upsets you, but otherwise, if it's a situation, okay, grounding the self, one of the best amulets to ground you is going to be a pentacle. Guess what? Most people fear the pentacle. Most people, it's so weird. It's one of the best things to ground you. Um, so many people are afraid of it. So, I don't deal with law of attraction. I just do. Even when it comes to your spell work. When I'm doing your spell work, that is it. Somebody else's negativity has nothing to do with your work or my work. I know how to ground and protect that working that I am doing as well. So I think a lot of, especially people on YouTube, I think that they go by this law of attraction to where they feel like they can, put enough negative frequency out there and it's going to affect you. Okay. There are some people that think that if they call you ugly, that's going to make you not manifest what you want, which I guess it would work on some people because they're using this law of attraction, which I don't believe it's a law at all. Um, I think it's more so a choice. So get out of the law of attraction thing. You know, especially when it comes to manifesting. You can't depend on it. It's not dependable. Let's put it like that. It's not dependable for me. I don't like it because there's a difference between witchcraft and law of attraction. And witchcraft is always about intent. Okay. So intent is a totally different ball game than law of attraction. Okay. Now, for example, if you came to me and you said, Jamil, I need you to do a money spell for me. And I did a money spell for you and it didn't work, or it didn't work the way you wanted it, then that means that there is an obstacle or some kind of blockage, or it might be a spirit, or it may be a hex or a vex that needs to be removed before it will fully manifest. But otherwise, it's going to work. For example, some people will come and get spells and they kind of, they believe in it halfway, right? And, you know, it takes a long time to manifest because maybe it just was meant to take a little while to manifest, especially if it's a complicated situation that ain't meant to be fixed overnight. You know, when when we do that spell work, it's going to manifest, even if it's not right away. Okay, unless something somehow changed it. Okay, so change is very important. There's a few cards that I look out for because very, very rarely do I throw my cards to double check my spell work. Mm, it's a rare occasion because if you do that, sometimes you're second guessing what you're doing. But there's a few things that I look for when I'm trying to see what's up with a spell or a ritual that I did. And if I get the death card, that means there could have been some kind of change or turn of events. So, divination is really important. The cards are very important. The pendulums are very important. Sitting there. Now, meditation, heck yeah, meditation is important. You need to ground your mind. You need to ground your heart and your spirit and your root chakra. Those things, yeah. I am a full-fledged advocate for meditation. Okay. But for that to be the only thing that you're doing, no, no. And meditation can have many different purposes. Maybe you just need to listen to some, nice, soft rain sounds, or I like to listen to wolves. But maybe you need to do that to maybe relax yourself and calm yourself down. But when it comes to, manifesting something in the physical, like a house, a car, a new dresser, paint, to paint your bedroom, that takes a lot more than law of attraction. And witchcraft is definitely not BS. I hate it when people do that, when they say that. You know, at the base of witchcraft is earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. These are the things that naturally occur around us every single day that most people take for granted, especially earth. For some reason, earth and air. People love fire, people love water, but earth and air, some of the most important things, people take that for granted. And so, when you truly connect with that element and understand what it's doing, it's not just earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. It is also the moon, the sun, uh, Jupiter, um, you know, so many different naturally occurring things, even on the earth, inside the earth, beyond the earth. So it puts you in a state of deep relaxation so that you can manifest. But so many people, you're not training yourself to master the universe with law of attraction. You are training yourself to almost be a victim. That's what you're doing. You're training yourself to be a victim. And and so I think it's important to understand it but not rely upon it. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion. I hope that I got the wheels turning for y'all. Okay. And that I inspired you guys. Make sure that you subscribe, hit that thumbs up. And like I said, I'm running that special, so it's been keeping me quite busy. Oh, and I kind of fibbed earlier. I am going to be offering discounts on the classes when I do make them available. Okay. That includes all of my classes. You go to the website and you'll see it. Okay. Um, but I'm not really advertising it because I wouldn't be able to get you started until April. I just thought about it. Yeah, it would have to be April. You're more than welcome if you want to try to secure a spot, but that's like 3 months in advance, which, you're um hold on a second. So but also another thing is that I'm going to be quite busy up until that point because I am offering 45% special off of rituals, spells, and readings. Okay. In fact, let me shamelessly plug my coupon code for readings. If you guys have gotten into that law of attraction thing, it's something that I have to literally kind of, I don't want to say take you out of it, but sort of like expand you. Okay. It's time to expand. So that's the coupon code. I'm sorry it's so long. 40, I got kind of overzealous. But yeah, and so a lot of you guys are sitting there listening to Law of Attraction. Now, okay, so let me just tell y'all this real quick. I listen to frequencies all the time. They're not Law of Attraction frequencies, but they kind of work sort of in a way. But like, for example, the Silva method, or listening to millionaire frequencies. Um, that is amazing. If you have a candle going with it, you know, and a lot of people, you know, something I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm a candle person. I'm a fire person. I like candles. So, and I like my stones and stuff. So, but I don't know, like it's pretty much basic knowledge of the craft as far as um and I don't always write a petition. I don't always do that, but 90% of the time I do. So it's something that you'll want to expand upon, okay? Especially if you're listening to frequencies and getting nowhere. Now, the mantras, when it comes to the different gods and goddesses that you guys really love, like, my Lilith mantra just totally puts me in a vibe. Other mantras, there's one by Azazel that is so amazing, very hypnotic. A lot of people are afraid of those, or even those, because they feel like, oh my God, it's gonna put me in a trance or something. But I don't know. I personally, as a witch that does this for a living, I personally like putting myself in trances in a euphoric state. And you don't even need no drugs. But even though I do, drink my wine, you know what I'm saying? It takes very little. So, you know, um, yeah, expand upon that law of attraction thing and kind of understand that, especially with the way the world is now, no, no, you need something stronger. That let's put it like that, okay? You need something stronger than just the law of attraction. Okay. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Blessings.